but me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the continued wall-to-wall coverage of the 2019 National Football League postseason. We're in the divisional round of the postseason, and I can tell you what, this next matchup we're going to talk about is a massive one that I am not too confident about. And I'll tell you what, I'm rooting for the home team in this one, but then again, are they actually the home team in this one? I'm not sure. We'll find out when the game gets underway, I guess. I feel like they're not going to have that much of a home field advantage, but Sean McVay's my guy. You know, that's once family, always family with Sean McVay. And so there's the Rams as the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs hosting. Are they home? I'm not sure. The number 4 seeded Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure if the Cowboys are at home or on the road in this one, but that's nor here nor there. This is a compelling matchup because at one point the Rams look to be, along with the Saints, head and shoulders above the rest of the competition in the NFC conference. And then the Rams hit a little bit of a lull. Some injuries started to take effect, and they weren't the same team. Gurley got hurt, didn't finish up the season. You saw some injuries to the guys like Cooper Kupp and a couple of injuries along the offensive line that kind of changed the way that this offense was presented. And the team that was racking up points and seemed unstoppable on offense earlier in the season kind of came to a little bit of a screeching halt. And I thought the low point of the season was the loss on Sunday night to the Bears. But now with time off and guys having a chance to lick some of those wounds and Gurley's now officially healthy and ready to rock and roll, can the Rams get back to where they were when they were rolling this season? We will see. Meanwhile, you've got the hot Dallas Cowboys who have just hit a stride of late. They were left for dead earlier in the season at 4-6, and they have miraculously turned their season around. And they have really put themselves in a position to not only beat this Rams team on the road, but potentially set up a matchup where they could be playing a home game. If the Eagles take care of business, the Cowboys, yes, the Cowboys could be hosting the NFC Championship game. How crazy would that be? But nothing's out of the realm of possibility, but they've got a tall order in front of them, but their defense has been their saving grace this season. They've put together one of the better defensive units in all of football, and they're going to have to lean on their defense once again to get it done in this game on the road versus the Los Angeles Rams. Let's take a look at the keys to victory for these teams in this game and see how they can get it done in advance to the championship weekend. So let's move on to these keys, and we start with the road team in the Cowboys. And the first thing that they have to do in this game is help Connor. Now, go now. Help Connor Williams because he is going to get his ass whooped in this football game. And we've seen Aaron Donald never, ever trust a man with 2 first names, split double teams. The man had 20.5 sacks this season. For those of you who stopped counting after he passed 12.5 or 13.5, the man ended up with 20.5 sacks this year. And I'm telling you right now, Connor Williams is looking like food, and my man AD is ready to eat. He's starving, and Connor Williams stinks at guard. And if they don't get him help, and I'm talking about get him help now, his ass is going to be baptized, and Dak Prescott is going to make some mistakes, possibly fumble. We know Dak isn't opposed to putting the ball on the carpet a couple of times if he gets hit. You're going to have to help Connor Williams, and you're going to have to help him not now, like right now. If Connor Williams is left on an island with Aaron Donald at any point in this game, you're asking for trouble. I don't give a damn if it's the run game or the passing game. He's going to get his ass whooped in this game if 99 is across from him, singled up. You've been warned. Do your job. Help Connor Williams and help him now. The next key to the game, North Dakota. This was a key last week. It's going to continue to be a key as long as the Cowboys are in the postseason. They need good Dak, which is North Dakota. They don't need South Dakota. That's bad Dak. And if bad Dak in South Dakota shows up, this team is going south, as in home, for the rest of the season because they can't win if Dak Prescott doesn't play good football. He was excellent last week. made the game-clinching play versus the Seahawks on a 3rd and 14 scramble for a first down that set him up for the game-clinching touchdown. He was masterful last week. Had the one interception. That was an ugly interception. You could argue it was pass interference, but I thought the pass was so egregious. Don't reward him for throwing a bad pass. He throws that towards the back pylon. It's a touchdown for Noah Brown. Instead, he underthrows it. It's picked off by KJ Wright. Nonetheless, outside of that one throw, I thought he was exceptional in the game against the Seahawks. They're going to need another performance like that from Dak. And the best way to do that is to not only help Connor Williams, but to do this next thing. And that's also going to allow Dak to be North Dakota. Make Zeke vomit carries. Look, I think the Rams have an issue stopping the run. I think you can run the football successfully versus these Los Angeles Rams. Now, maybe because of this break that they've had over the last couple of weeks, maybe guys like Donald and Sue and that defensive front have had a chance to catch their breath. Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh had the highest snap counts of any defensive interior lineman in the league. They were on the field for the highest percentage of their team's defensive snaps this season. So those guys were worn down, but that's no excuse. They were getting run on this season, and you'd like to think that the Cowboys, who have one of the better run games in the league, are going to be able to run the football against these Rams. And if you want Dak to be comfortable, if you want Dak to be able to push the football down the field, if you want Dak to feel like he's got help and he doesn't have to win the game on its own, then you need to feed Zeke the rock as much as possible. I thought the Cowboys did a great job of feeding Zeke last week. What did he have last week? 27 carries, something along those lines. They're going to need a duplicate performance from him in this game. Feed Zeke until he vomits carries. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, that's going to lead you to victory. You go to the next key in this football game. Make Gurley girly, all right? And also go golfing, all right? So let's start with making Gurley girly. At the end of the day, Todd Gurley is as huge a part of the game plan for the Rams as is Jared Goff. And I thought they got away from that towards the end of the season, and then we found out why. Gurley was nursing an injury that he sustained in the first half of the Chiefs game. So he was kind of gutting it out for a few weeks there. He didn't look like the same guy. They weren't implementing him the way that they were earlier in the season. When he goes, so does that Rams offense. If you're able to limit, and just remember, he's not a one-dimensional back. He's one of the best two-way backs we have in this league. He's an all-purpose threat. He can catch it out of the backfield just as much as he can run it in between the tackles. He can hit the home run, or he can run it in between the tackles for the tough yards. He can do it all. If you make Todd Gurley in this football game, you give yourself the best shot to win. The Cowboys have had one of the better rush defenses in the league. They looked good last week against a dominant Seahawks run offense. They shut them down. I expect them to try and do the same thing. Will not be as easy in this game as it is a much different run blocking scheme in Los Angeles with that zone run blocking scheme. But in any event, they're going to have to stop the run like they did a week ago. Nonetheless, you got to go golfing. All right, we've seen Jared Goff wilt under pressure this season. You need not look any further than the Sunday night debacle versus the Bears, where he was just awful in the game, threw 3 picks, was all over the place. He looked disheveled. He looked scared because pressure was on his ass. If you're the Cowboys and you can apply similar pressure, you may be able to get similar results. And that's what you're looking to do. You need to slow down Todd Gurley, and you need to go golfing in this game. If you get after Jared Goff, if you hunt Jared Goff and get there successfully, you're going to cause him to be errant. He has not been as accurate of late as he was earlier in the season in games like he had against the Vikings, where he was absolutely unstoppable in that game. In the Chiefs game, when he won a 54-51 shootout against Mahomes and company. So he hasn't been that accurate of late. If you can get to Jared Goff, you can force him off his spot, force him to be erratic, and possibly throw a couple to the wrong color jersey. That's what you're looking to try to do in this football game. And finally, the last pro for the Cowboys in this game, the last key to victory, anybody but her, all right? I talked about this last week with the Bears. I talked about this last week with the Chargers. I was one of 2 there. The Chargers kicker, Michael Badgley, made me look like a fool, and I'm happy for that. But I was on the spot. I was on point with my assessment of Cody Parkey, who missed a field goal to help his team advance to the divisional round weekend. And so I'm warning you of the same thing. I do not trust Brett Maher. So what I'm telling you is don't allow this game to come down to a Brett Maher 47-yard field goal. He's already shown his ass once this year, hitting the upright, which is crazy because these uprights have become the stars of these missed field goals of late. But remember, against the Redskins, his ass hit the upright and a chance to send you to overtime to try to win that game. He has shown you that he can make field goals late, like he did against the Falcons to win that game, but he's also shown you the propensity to bang one off the upright and cost you a game as well. Do not leave this game up to Brett Maher. Anybody but her, not Maher. You leave it up to Brett Maher late in this game, and you might be suffering the same fate as the Chicago Bears did just a week ago. You've been warned. Hopefully you take heed to my warning. Those are the Cowboys' keys to victories. Now we go to the Los Angeles Rams, and we look at their first key to victory in this game. He's an all-true man, yeah, baby. Todd Gurley is back like cooked crack, and they need the Todd Gurley of early in the season, not the Todd Gurley late in the season that was banged up, hampered by injuries, and did not look the same. They need the Todd Gurley that can catch it out of the backfield 7 to 10 times in any given game. They need the Todd Gurley that's good for 20 to 27 carries in any given game. They need the Todd Gurley that can kill you up the middle, but just as fast bounce it to the outside and get around the corner. They need the Todd Gurley that led this team to a rousing start this season and was firmly supplanted in the MVP race early in the season. They need Todd Gurley to show up and be an all-true man, yeah, baby. Without him, you're probably going to lose this game, and I'm here to warn you that it may not even be close. And when I say not close, Cowboys aren't going to score a bunch of points. But remember that Saints beat down that they delivered? That wasn't a close game. The score didn't tell the story. That was a thorough ass whooping. Don't succumb to one of those in this game. If Gurley is running the rock and catching it out of the backfield and being the bat that we know he is capable of being, that won't come to fruition. I promise you. Your next key, return of the Goffense. Jared Goff in this offense looked unstoppable under Sean McVay for the first 10 weeks of this season. Then some shit happened, and injuries really were to blame for some of the mishaps. I can't begin to explain to you just how big of a part of the offense Cooper Kupp was, and that injury really hurt. The offensive line injuries, you lost your center for a little while, and John Sullivan and some other guys got injured, and you had to shuffle some things around, and that made it a little bit tougher to run the rock. And then obviously, I've talked about Gurley's injury enough, so you know how much of a hindrance to the offense that was. Look, at the end of the day, you should be as healthy as you've been. Obviously, you're not getting Cooper Kupp back, but you're going to be as healthy as you're going to be for the remainder of the season in this game. You've got to take advantage, and the Goffense has to return. Jared Goff has to be back at his best. He's got to be extremely accurate. The Cowboys are an aggressive defense. They're usually right around the football. Their defensive backs generally aren't that far away from the ball. If you're not accurate, they will pick you off. You need to be accurate in this game. You're going to get some opportunities because they're going to respect your run game with Todd Gurley. It's going to give you some shot opportunities. And when I say shots, this offense doesn't really go 50 yards down the field. They're looking to hit you for 25 on a deep comeback or a deep dig route over the middle of the football field. They're looking to hit you in the intermediate play action game. You should be able to get some chunks if the Goffense returns to form. Get the tight ends involved in Higbee and Everett and everybody, all hands on deck. Woods and company, Cooks, everybody. The return of the Goffense, everybody needs to get involved and everybody needs to be huge contributors. And Jared Goff has to be the one pulling the strings when it's all said and done. You go to the next key. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. I'm looking for a monster performance out of the defensive MVP in Aaron Donald. He's going to have some individual matchups where, look, let's be frank, candid, and honest. he's not going to get too many singled up matchups against Connor Williams. If I'm the Cowboys, it's a mandatory double team on every single snap, run, pass. I don't give a shit. I don't care if he's running off the field to get a breather or he's running off the field for special. I'm still double teaming him all the way to the sidelines. Get your ass off the field, and then the double team can stop. I don't care if he's jogging off the field on a special teams unit switch. I'm double teaming him to the sidelines. Aaron Donald will not wreck this game if I'm the Cowboys, but if you're the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald is exactly what you need to wreck this game for the Dallas Cowboys. You want South Dakota in this game, you need Aaron Donald to step up, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if anybody else on that team can. I haven't seen Sue get to the quarterback that often this year. I'm not trusting any of the younger guys. It'd be nice if you got something from the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive end that you traded for and Dante Fowler Jr. That would be nice if he showed up. That would be a great caveat in this game. But I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm not trusting anybody else. I'm trusting the guy that I know delivers the goods week in and week out in Aaron Donald. Never, ever trust a man with two first names. Next key to the game for the Rams is no fun for 21. Look, if Ezekiel Elliott goes off on you, you're probably going to lose the game. I'm going to be really honest with you, blunt and brutally honest with you. If Ezekiel Elliott has a field day, you're probably going to lose this game, because as he goes, so does the Cowboys offense. He is the straw that stirs that drink. Dak is a huge part of their offense, and if he turns it over, they're probably not going to win. But if Dak takes care of the football, it's usually because he's got the aid and the crutch of the run game. When Dak feels the need to put the game on his shoulders and he's got to throw it a bunch of times, that's generally when the mistakes happen. That's when the fumbles and the interceptions, that's when they generally come in bunches. When you allow Ezekiel Elliott to run the football, go over 120 yards, and have the type of impact, catch an additional 5 yards, 5 catches, and one of them is a big screen or one of them is a big dump off into the flats and he catches it and runs, you're in trouble. You're right in the Cowboys' wheelhouse. No fun for 21 in this game. Shut his ass down, and you will find the key to victory if you are the Rams. And finally, the last key to victory for them, South Dakota and hanging with Mr. Cooper. Look, I talked about this last week. These were two of the keys to victory for the Seahawks. They weren't able to follow them at all. There was no South Dakota whatsoever except for the interception. But nonetheless, you need South Dakota. If Dak is taking care of the football, protecting the football, not turning it over, and they're running the football, you're going to be in trouble, because that defense for the Cowboys is really good. And I don't expect you to score a boatload of points. I do expect you to have some opportunities to score in this game. But I think when it's all said and done, you're going to have to do enough. And some turnovers are going to have to be key for you. You're going to have to force Dak into some mistakes, whether it's a fumble, and Aaron Donald is the master at creating those, or an interception on an errant pass. Either way, you need South Dakota in this football game. And hang in with Mr. Cooper. Look, I told the Seahawks, don't let Cooper beat you. Cooper! Don't let Amari Cooper. When the ball's in the sky and your QB needs a guy, it's Amari. I said, don't let Amari Cooper beat you. Hang with Mr. Cooper. Wherever he goes, be like my buddy. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever he goes, you go. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Mr. Cooper and me. Wherever the hell Cooper goes, you go. Last week, the Seahawks didn't follow the script. They let Cooper go wherever. One pass he caught in zone coverage, there was nobody around. He turned around and ran for an additional 20 yards. That shit can't happen in this game. If Cooper goes over 100 yards like he did last week, you're probably going to lose this game. Again, you can't allow the guys that you go into the game knowing need to have big games to have big games. 21 can't have fun. It's got to be South Dakota. And Mr. Cooper can't be left alone. You follow these simple rules, and you've got a great chance of winning this game. It's not rocket science. It's easier said than done. I know. But these are the rules to the game. You know them, then play. All right? So if you're the Los Angeles Rams, don't let Amari Cooper do you in. All right? Please. If he is able to get loose. This is why you went out and traded for Aqib Talib. This is why. For games like this, if Amari Cooper goes nuts, you're probably not going to win this game. I said all of that to say this. This is going to be a fun game. This may be one of the best games of the weekend. I can say that about just about every game this weekend, but Saturday to me is going to be much better in terms of the quality of games than Sunday. I like both of these games, and I think this is going to be an exceptional nightcap. I've got the Rams losing this game. I really think the Cowboys have a great shot. They're going to be at home. I think this crowd is literally going to be a 60% split for the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're going to come in, infiltrate the stadium, take over, and make it feel like Dallas in this game. It feel like Jerry's World. And I think they're going to go into Los Angeles. They're going to play the defense that I know they're capable of playing. They're going to shut down Todd Gurley, which is going to force Jared Goff into some mistakes. And they're going to come away with a 24-20 victory over these Rams in L.A. That it pains me to say that, but I really think the Cowboys are going to go into the Coliseum and come out victorious and find themselves in the NFC Championship game where they'll face, stay tuned for who they'll be facing in that game. I'm your man, Louie T. Remember, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And also, make sure you like this video, share this video, and check out the Louie T Network podcast if you haven't already done that as well. All of the information you need down below in the description. Speaking of the description, make sure you leave a comment down below this video and give me your prediction for this game. Score and more. I need it. Who do you think is going to come out victorious in this game? Rams or Cowboys? I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. You know where to find me at the conclusion of this game for the overtime series live. As this game is over, we'll break it down, and I'll take your comments live on the air. So join me for that as well. I'm your man, Louie T, once again, signing off for good this time. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Louie T Network.